Hello everybody, welcome back. Welcome to the channel. My name is Gabriel, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Lego Town Emergency Treatment Center. This is set number 6380. There's no age range apparently. With 308 pieces and 5 minifigures, and this was released in 1987 for around $30 in the United States. I know this is worth $540 sealed, but unfortunately, I don't have it sealed because this was handed down to me by my mom, and she opened it when she was a kid. We're going to open it up and see what we got. We got the instructions here. It's still nice to get those in one piece. I'm surprised those aren't destroyed. We got bag 1, and bags 2 and 3, and a base plate. I really like this base plate with the road going through. That's a really nice thing. I actually used this in a Lego contest once. I used it for a restaurant. But now, I'm going to use it for this hospital. And we're going to get it built. Alrighty, now that we're finished with the set, we can take a look at these minifigures. So there are 5 figures included in this set. All of them are exclusive because of the torso printings. All the faces and hair and legs and everything else comes in other sets. So it's just the torsos that make them exclusive, but they're all very old. And none of them have specific names. So there's a nurse, a doctor, an EMT, a boy patient, and a girl patient. And we'll take a look at them in that order. So starting off with the nurse here, there's not too much going on. There's not much interesting things to say about her. She has the basic face print that was introduced way back then. I don't remember when, and I don't know when. And she also has that hair piece. I like to call the Anakin hair, but I don't think it was used for Anakin originally. But this hairpiece was released in 1983, so it's very old. But then again, this figure was from 1987, so a couple years afterwards. No back torso printing. There wasn't back torso printing for like a decade afterwards, which is crazy. But the front torso printing is a little cool. I mean, it has some detail, like a little pocket on the side there, the Red Cross logo, and then a collar, and then a line going down the middle. I think that's representing the zipper. And some plain white legs, which are all chewed and beat up. That's crazy. I think these were the original legs for the Cairo Thug from the Indiana Jones set, but because I remember trying to chew them up to get the cake frosting out of them, because my mom put them on a cake. But yeah, this like I said, nurse is exclusive, and she is around like $11, which is crazy because that's insane how expensive these figures are. Next we have the doctor here, and this one is pretty different from the nurse, where he has a stethoscope printing with a pocket and a little pen sticking out, which is pretty cool, and he still has the Red Cross logo. And I just looked up when that face came out. The face print came out in 1978, so that's pretty old. That was almost 10, that was like 11 years, no, not 11, that was like 9 years before this one. And he has that hair piece that we got in 1979, so it was just a year after the face print, and I'm surprised that this hairpiece is still being used. The exact same design, the exact same model, is still being used to 2022 this day, so that's crazy. What a successful hairpiece that was. And then plain white legs like the nurse, and he goes for around $9. Next we have the EMT, or the ambulance driver. And this guy is similar to the nurse. He has the same face and the same torso print, but his legs are in gray, and he has that police cap piece in white, which was introduced in 1975. Not too much else to say about him, and he goes for around $11 as well as the nurse. Now for the boy patient, it's almost exactly like the male nurse, or the doctor, I meant, with the same hair and face, except he has this red jacket print, which is really cool. I really love that. I mean, I know it's like not very detailed, but it still looks amazing. With a zipper on the front, and then the 3 pockets, and then the collar, and then he just has some plain blue legs, and this guy goes for around $10. And the girl patient here, has some overall prints on her torso. It's a plain white torso with like a red overall print, which is wiping off, unfortunately. I wonder how expensive it'll be to get those, but yeah. And then she has that pigtail piece or hair piece that was introduced in 1975, and just some plain red legs. And she's actually not as expensive as the other figures. She goes for around $3, which isn't crazy. Now for the builds of the set, we have two builds: the main ambulance, or the hospital, and the ambulance. We can just take a look at them both right here. I'm gonna zoom out all the way to see the whole thing. And it's crazy how nostalgic this is to me. Although I wasn't around or alive anywhere near 1987. I was born in 2005. It's still crazy how nostalgic this is because I had it at a very young age when my mom gave it to me. And having it here with every single piece is just amazing. But now we can zoom in and take a look at the ambulance here, which is a really interesting build. It's small and compact. It looks very square. So it's nothing like the new ambulances, but it does have some neat play features where the roof can open up and sometimes the lights will pop off. And on the inside you can see they have a steering wheel and a little seat, and then these doors actually open and you can fit the ambulance driver in there. And so he just sits down, which is nice, and close that. And then there's a little antenna on the top, which is just a lever build in white and with the black lever. And then there's a nice 2x2 print of a red cross, and you see that throughout the build. And then some yellow headlights on the front, some really old wheels that I don't think the tires come off. Yeah, these tires may not come off of the wheels. Maybe they were attached before, maybe not, because the instructions are a little old. We'll get to those later. And then there's printed sides here where they're clear, and then they have some red on the bottom and then some white lines there. And the back here opens up like this, and I have another little window that opens up like that as well. And on the inside there's a stretcher, which is a really interesting piece. So these go up and down, little wheels, and they actually detach, which is a little unfortunate because when you're moving them up and down so much, they might detach accidentally. Maybe not. Well, they get a little crooked sometimes, but yeah. And then you can fit someone on there, so we'll take one of the patients here and we'll just lay him on there with his feet, and then you can actually slide that inside with the patient on. And I love how much of a cozy fit that is. It fits so well. On the back there's some red lights, and it rolls pretty smoothly, and that's pretty much it. It can fit under the little garage over here, which we'll take a look at right now. On the top it has that same 2x2 cross print, and there's a little trash can down here, right down there, and then that just rolls in. Right up here we have a little sign with, again, that 2x2 cross print. We have some lights going along the driveway here, a tiny little tree, which is very nice. It's like the little Christmas tree, so that's really cool to get. And then some yellow chairs and some flowers, and that's it for that. Looking at the top here, we have some antenna and satellite on top of the hospital, and this uses what I like to call the Clone Wars blaster. It's a very, very old gun, or not gun, but I like to pretend it's a gun because I think they actually used it as guns way back then for Star Wars, and that's why it has all those details, and then like the ridges and stuff. And they just slide that little dish piece on there, and it sits in the middle of these 4 studs, not on one of the studs, in the middle. I thought that was an illegal building technique, as well as this antenna as well. So maybe not. I just don't see it in newer sets now. Going down here, we can go into the operating room. There's a little monitor right here, which I guess tells how the patient is doing. Some air tanks, which is pretty cool. And they have a light that swivels back and forth. This is like one of those dentist lights that they use to see what they're doing. And then another one of those stretchers. It's the same exact build, and you can put someone on there. I like having it standing all the way up, so that way the other figures the doctor can reach. And there is enough standing space for the doctor to sit. There's a lot of standing space. This room is very tall. Coming over here to the reception area, there's a little pitcher here, like a jar of water. It uses a clear minifigure head with a clear mug, so that's pretty cool. And that just sits on there. And then here's another clear minifigure mug. And there is a chair on a swivel, one of those 2x2 swivel pieces, so you can fit the receptionist or the nurse on here like that. And this little build here for a computer kind of looks like a telephone. It's a very, very old print on a 1x2 sloped brick, and that just sits there with a tile in the middle. And then at the top here is another empty-ish room with like a box, or like the mailbox build, except it's very empty and it's yellow. And on top there is another clear mug. You get 3 of those in the set. And there's enough standing room in here as well. And I forgot to mention there's standing room down below. Lots of standing room. I love how much room there is to stand the figures. There's so much playability. And whoa, that's new. I've never done that before. Whoops. So apparently the roof can collapse. I did not know about that. Or not the roof, but the walls. All these roofs are held up by walls. What am I saying? Of course roofs are held up by walls. There's stickers on all the windows here. So these front 4 have little lines on the bottom, white lines with a Red Cross logo. And then on this side, these ones don't have the logo, and as well as the ones up here. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 basic windows, and then 4 cross windows. And here we have some diagonal windows, which I don't see in Lego sets nowadays, but these can actually open like that and flip around and stuff. And these also have stickers with white lines on them. I'm guessing the lines are like blinds. So yeah, and then over here there's some lights. I forgot to mention using that brick there, or the plate there, with the 2 studs on the side. So you just put some yellow studs there. And that's pretty much it. There's not a lot going on here. It lacks detail, but it makes up for the detail in playability and functionality, where it doesn't really have, you know, like, it's not like good for looks, it's good for playing. It's a play set. But then again, it's an old set, so they didn't really focus on stuff like that way back then. But yeah, there's definitely lots of stand in place, a good place to use your imagination. And with the amount of 1x2 bricks included, plus all the other bricks, you can take this apart and make whatever you want. I think on the box they showed alternate builds. I'm not entirely sure because I've never seen the box. I think maybe I saw a picture or 2 on a brick set or something like that, but yeah, there's no like instructions for alternate builds. The instructions here are very old, but I'm surprised that they're in good condition. No pages have ripped out. My mom kept this very nice, but they unfold like that, or they fold in half like that, and then they unfold. Then you turn them like a normal instruction book. And I will admit, these instructions are very hard to follow. When I was doing the speed build, I had to delete some frames and take some parts off because I did it wrong, and because it's basically just spot the difference. That's what these instructions are. I mean, again, all of them are, but they give you the pieces, or they tell you what pieces to use. These ones you just have to figure it out for yourself. They don't tell you what you need to use, so that's a little confusing. Thankfully they fixed that with the future instructions that are coming out nowadays. On the back you can see another shot of the set. Down on the front you can see the main shot. It says Legoland on it here. And yeah, I'm surprised those are in very good condition. So overall, for $30 back then, this was definitely worth the price. It's a great big build with a bunch of minifigures and lots of play space. But then again, $30 back then was probably like $60 today. And so they probably would, if they did make this today, it'd probably be $60. But getting it secondhand for like $540, definitely not that worth it, unless you just wanted to keep it sealed for the nostalgic purposes. But other than that, it's a great play set. I just wouldn't give it to little kids because of how expensive it is now. Just don't want to ruin it, so I'll definitely keep this on a shelf, like I keep all my sets on the highest one, so that way it doesn't get ruined in any way. Because this is such an old nostalgic set. But definitely, I really like it. I just don't like the old Actually, I do like the old figures. I was gonna say I don't like the old printed, but I actually really like them, especially this guy. This guy's my favorite out of all of them. So I'll give this a 9 out of 10. The only thing that's lacking is some details in some of the rooms, like maybe this top one here, maybe something here, and they have some empty space here. They definitely could have filled, but yeah, that's it. That's it for this one. So let me know in the comments what you guys think about this set. Let me know any other old Lego sets you would like me to review if I have them. Yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.